Guy, have fun now.
Omo, I'm not really fine. Do you know they paid me last week and right now I can't even boast of up to 10,000 naira in my account?
Seriously?
Yes.
Did you budget?
Which one is budgeting? I'm not a politician.
That's why your money is missing like NEPA light.
But I didn't buy anything serious, shoes, bags, the thing that guys need now. And just like that, fiam, the money has disappeared.
But it's all these little things. That's why it's taking your money.
But what should I do?
See, you have to create a budget. You have to track your spending. You have to prioritize your needs over your wants. And you have to save before you spend, not the other way around.
So what you're trying to say that this money management thing is not child's play?
It's not child's play at all.
The Money Click is an annual financial literacy program to help you up your money game. The Money Click is not just about money, it's about mindset. So in the Money Click program, go beyond budgeting to rewire your thinking, to rewire your mindset, to change your thinking about income, to change your thinking about money management. So we'll help you grow your income, we'll help you manage it, we'll help you invest with confidence. Money is not just about what you know. Money is more about how you behave. And every day in the Money Click programs, what we'll try to do is to influence how you behave about money. This is not just financial education. This is financial transformation. I will hope to see you become a part of it. Thank you.
Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of our Thursday YouTube Live here at the Naira Academy. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you so much for joining. For those who have joined us here already, I'm glad to have you here today to continue our series of understanding how to raise better financial literate children here in the month of November. Thank you so much for everyone who have joined us so far. And today we're going to be talking about the dangers of not teaching kids about money early. The dangers of not teaching children about money early. So welcome, and welcome. Welcome to today's live. Okay, all right, so we're going to get right into it and start learning just immediately. Welcome, Favor Gewon's Arts. Good afternoon, Ma. I'm glad to have you here today. Glad to have you here today. Welcome. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about the dangers of not teaching children about money early. Right? One thing about money. About this topic is that money is one of life's most constant realities, right? Yet, one of the least discussed topics in most homes. That's the fact. Many parents believe that the children should just focus on school, or they say they will learn about money when they grow up. That's usually what we say. Yeah, they will learn about money when they grow up. Just focus on your academics, just focus on your studies. Good morning, Mrs. Emily Sarah. Good morning to my lovely wife who is also here. Welcome. So money. So these are the things that we usually say about money in most homes, right? And if we say children will learn about money when they grow up, but the problem is by the time they grow up, the damage is already done. The damage is already done. Research shows that a child's money habits and beliefs are largely formed by age 7, right? So it means that before your child finishes primary school or elementary school, however you refer to it, right? They've already developed a mental money blueprint. They've developed a mental money blueprint that will influence their adult financial decisions. So the time to influence their mental money blueprint is in their primary education years, the first 7 years of their lives. Right? If you want to wait till after, then you'll be making a mistake. Then you'll be making the same mistake you made or that your parents made with you by not being intentional about your money. So that's the reason why we have the kind of money blueprints that we have today. That's the reason. Right? So the truth is that if you don't teach your children about money, so it doesn't mean that It doesn't mean that if you don't do these teachings before age 7, that their money story or blueprint will not form. It will form, but it will not be formed by you. That's the thing. So if you don't start early, their money blueprints would not be intentionally formed by you. Right? Their money habits would not intentionally be formed by you. If you don't teach your children about money, the world will. The world will teach them. They will learn from their friends. They will learn from all their surroundings. They will learn from the environment. They will learn from people around them. Right? And the truth is that the lessons that the world will teach them around money comes with debt and regret. Right? Comes with debt and regret. I've heard a lot of people share how growing up they saw money as a normal thing. They grew up in an environment where taking on debt, was normal. Right? Now, if it was a parent who was intentional about the money habits and story or blueprint of their children, they wouldn't be in that kind of environment. Even if they find themselves, they will try as much as possible to shield them from it. But you can't really shield children from their environment. They are the environment. So what you do is you move away from your environment. I remember a story that my father told us. So my father told us that they moved into a certain, I think then it was just my two siblings that were born. So that he moved into a certain house, and getting into the house, he realized that this environment is not what I thought it was going to be. Then he had just spent 1 week, a few weeks, not to mistake, in the house, and he left the house and rented another place because you are your environment, and we need to understand it. You are your environment, so you should be careful on this journey of curating the kind of financial mindset you want your children to have. That you need to also be particular about the environment where you are. And environment is not just about the place; it's about the people. It's about the people around you. What are their beliefs around money? What do they talk about? Can your children pick from them? And things like that. These are things that we should pay attention to. Should pay attention to these things. So when money is not discussed early, children grow up distorted. Children grow up fearful, right? Children have very irresponsible relationships with money. So now let's explore those dangers and details. Let's look at the dangers that happen when children don't learn money on time. The first that we're going to look at today is that they develop the fear-based or shame-based relationship with money. Right? So children who never hear positive money conversations, they often grow up seeing money as a taboo. Right? Something shameful to talk about. So they may hear things like, "Oh, don't ask me about money." They hear you say things like, "Do you think money grow on trees?" They hear you say things like, "We don't have money for that. Stop disturbing me." You say it in a very, very annoying way. You just rebuke them when they come asking for money, right? These statements imprint deep emotional messages that says the money is scarce. Emotional messages, deep messages that says money causes stress, right? Emotional messages that say asking for money, looking for money, wanting more is wrong. So as adults, such children either fear money and avoid financial decisions when they become adults. Now, when they become adults also, they overcompensate by becoming obsessed with making money on any cost. Why? Because you've made money seem very scarce for them, right? And we have a lot of them today getting into a lot of things. So they're growing up into adults and they want to overcompensate for the lack that they felt that they had, right? By becoming obsessed with making money. And that's the reason, that's the pandemic that we have in our society today. We have a pandemic of children, of young adults becoming obsessed with making money. It's a pandemic, right? They are obsessed. Why? It is because of the mindsets that they grew up with. It is because of the emotional message that their brains interpreted as money being scarce, interpreted that money is stress. So these things have come to make them the adults that they are today. The Yahoo boys that have come to become today, the scammers that they've come to become today, the people who put their money into, who indulge in sports betting. It is this thing that money is scarce, and then becoming overly obsessed with making money that even pushed them in the first place, now without knowledge, to get into things like gambling and sports betting. Now, you need to understand the place. In our last YouTube live, I talked about the effect, the need to have conversations. That does it mean that you're not going to, when you should not give your children everything they ask for? No. We have conversations, give explanations. You can't have this because, oh, we didn't budget for this, right? It wasn't budgeted, but okay, we'll see how we can save little by little and see how we can achieve this in the next few months. Give explanations. We don't have budget allowance to afford something like this. This is how we're going to do it. But we feel, especially in the African side, we feel like we owe our children no explanation whatsoever. And the things you don't say, they might interpret in their own way. So we need to have healthy money conversations. We need to remove fear. And we need to replace it with understanding and confidence. But you can't give them understanding and confidence if you don't have conversations. So we need to have conversations with our children about money, right? Also, they grow up, if we do not introduce them early to financial literacy, they grow up without financial discipline. That's one of the dangers. The dangers of not teaching children about money early is that they grow up without financial discipline. If a child never learns how to budget, if a child never learns to save, if a child never learns delayed gratification, they will struggle with impulse spending as adults. They will struggle. They will earn money and they will lose it as fast, even faster. They will lose it faster than they earned it. And it's only because nobody trained their minds to plan. I was listening to Coach Wendy this morning, just before we started this live, the Inner Circle program, and she was talking about training our minds. It's not something that happens in schools. You're sending your child to school and you're thinking the child is going to get everything there, their mind to be trained, everything. No. There are other places where they get that kind of training. And that's why you need your children to be in the Money Click program. If you are not in the Money Click program, you need to get in there for you to also train your mind to be able to train the minds of your children. So we need to train their minds, or else they will lose their money faster than they gain it. And training their mind starts now when they're still young, not when they become adults. You shouldn't let them make the same mistakes or take the same path that we took. If you have a teenager today who always gets instant gratification, Daddy, buy me this, Mommy, I want that, right? And you give them and you indulge, or they're always asking, get me this. If they don't get it, there's problem. They will eventually grow up with no patience for process. As adults, they will likely buy things emotionally. They will live in debt. They will seek quick money. That's the truth. See, discipline is the bridge between desire and destiny, according to Jim Rohn. Discipline is key. Without discipline, there's no delayed gratification. Financial discipline is foundational. And we need to start teaching our children now, not tomorrow, not next tomorrow. So we need to understand that when children learn to wait, when children learn to save and plan, they develop emotional control, right? And it's one of the strongest predictors of financial success. It's key. Another thing, another problem, another danger is that they repeat generational mistakes. So we have many families unconsciously pass down poverty patterns. Now, it's not because of lack of opportunity, but lack of financial wisdom. And that's why parents should take their own journey seriously if they will impact the life of their children. And it doesn't matter if you've made money. You can make money and still pass down the poverty pattern without even knowing. Why? Because it's a mindset. It's not just about money. It's not just about cash. It's a mindset. It's a mindset. right? So a parent who never learned about money passes the same silence. The person will pass the same fear. The person will pass the same ignorance to their children. The circle continues. It will become a circle of struggle, ignorance, death, regret, struggle again. So the struggle continues. In the Money Click program, we talk a lot about money blueprints. If you're not intentional about rewiring your blueprint, you will pass it on to your children, because the blueprint you have today came from your parents. So you have a job to give your children their own blueprints. The question is, how will you do it? What will you give to them? What will you bequeath to them? What will you bequeath to them depends on how you handle your own journey. Are you going to be intentional about your journey? Are you going to be intentional about rewiring your mindset? Are you going to be intentional about changing your mindset? Some of us grew up hearing our parents tell us, there's no money, give me. Will I pluck money from tree? And you're doing exactly the same thing without even realizing. Subconsciously, you're replaying the blueprints. The same blueprints that you know affected your money story, but you are unconsciously playing it out in your children. Right? So we need to break the cycle, and we must break it with knowledge. See, what one generation tolerates, the next generation normalizes. Right? A father who dies without financial planning would have the children to suffer. Then what happens? What happens is that the children will grow up and repeat the same pattern, living without structure. I've told this story a lot of times. I'm going to repeat this story again today. I've told the story of a former colleague of mine that the father had so much money. He told us that his father has so much money that his father would attend a new wedding with a new car. I've told this story a lot of times. A new wedding with a new car. That's how rich he was in those days in Jos in the early 70s. Today, his father can't afford his diabetic drugs. His father actually was a money spender. His father didn't understand money. Guess what? His son, who told us this story, was also on the same path. On the same path like his father. He's in his 40s. He has seen money, but it's in no way reflecting his life. Because of the pattern that the father bequeathed to him. He's spending money exactly the same way. He's taking exactly the same pattern his father had. Something happened to the guy at some point. The wife is an only child. So the mother-in-law was sick for a very long time. He was financially drained. Taking care of the mother-in-law, going to the hospital and all that. Eventually, this woman died. She died, and then people out of pity called him and said, we know you spent a lot of money. Why not just quickly bury this woman so that you don't have to just do it the minimum way that you can? Don't think about anything big. In our place, it's a problem. Don't think about anything big. Do a simple burial and get on with your life. You spent a lot already. He said, no, that is not who I am. That he has to do it, that he loved this woman so much. The wife loves the mother so much, the only surviving member of the family, that the burial has to be when they say befitted, then you can imagine the financial implication. Among every advice that was given to this guy, he said no. One day I called him and I still asked him, what I used to, he said, that he has to, no. That he has to do it the way it should be in the tradition. And you know what that means? Eventually, he indeed did it that way. And he indeed spent money he did not have. What's the implication? Debts. He was living his father's blueprints. And he still doesn't even know it. He is reliving his father's blueprints. Unfortunately, his children are watching, and his children will repeat the same blueprints. They will repeat the same blueprints. They would make the same money mistakes. They are watching how their father spends. They're watching the way he handles money and they are learning. He's modeling to them. He's modeling to them. What is his problem? He has refused to learn. But he will learn the hard way. See, breaking financial circles starts with education, not income. That's the problem that we have. The problem we have is the way we are thinking about things. You think because, oh, your father had money issues, but now you have more money than your father ever had. You think everything is well. No, it is not with income. You think, oh, the only thing I need to do is just make more money. I'll just make more money, more money. More money will solve the problem. More money will not solve the problem. It won't solve the problem. It is not more money. Right? Breaking financial circles starts with education. It starts with understanding. You can't build wealth without generational wisdom. So you need understanding. You need to learn. You need to be in the Money Click program or any program that can teach you money. Be there. Learn. You need to learn. Number 4 danger of not teaching money early to children is that they equate money with status and not stewardship. Right? So children who are not taught the purpose of money will only see it as a symbol of power and not responsibility. So they grow up thinking, having more makes me better. They grow up thinking, I need to show off to be respected. Now, this is the same thing that happened with this former colleague of mine. The father showed off. Going to a wedding every time you're called upon with a new car is showing off. It's showing off. And that's the reason why he saw the need to show off through the mother-in-law's burial. He wanted to show people that have money. And that's why he didn't want to do it the simple way and let the woman rest. Right? Because he grew up thinking, I need to show off. Because he saw his father show off. Children equate rich people as the only people who matter. So they don't treat everybody equally. Why? Because of the way they were raised. We're raising children to link money to pride, with material, with comparison, with financial pressure. Financial pressure. Today we have many young adults who buy cars, iPhones, expensive clothes that they can't afford just to look successful. Go on Instagram and post. People confuse possession with progress. See, when purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable, according to Miles Monroe. Right? So we need to understand that money is a tool, not a trophy. Money is not a trophy. It's a tool. Right? So teach children that true wealth is measured by impact, is measured by integrity, and is measured by stewardship. And that's also what a part of the reason why I wrote the book, Raising Heirs, Not Hustlers. It's about teaching financial-minded stewardship. It's about understanding that money is not something that you boast. It's not something that you just own. It's something you steward. It's something you use as a tool for impact, for integrity. It's not a trophy. Money is not a trophy. Number five on the list of the dangers of not teaching children about money early is that they become emotionally controlled by money when you don't teach them money early. So when children don't understand money, they either fear it or they worship it. Right? So they develop anxiety about having enough, or they chase wealth without values. And when they have fear of losing money, it leads to hoarding. When they have obsession with money, it leads to compromise and a lot of corruption. It leads to gambling. It leads to getting into MMM or scamming people. In Nigeria, we've seen a lot of people fall for the get rich quick traps, fraud, gambling, scams. And the reason is because no one taught them how money actually works. If you don't master money, money will master you. So emotional intelligence is part of financial literacy. It's a very important part of it. There is no financial literacy without emotional intelligence. Right? There is none. So children must learn that money follows value, money follows patience and wisdom, not manipulation and shortcuts. Number 6 is that they struggle with entitlement or dependency. When parents connect money to efforts, right? Children will grow up expecting provision without participation. Sorry, when parents when they don't connect money to efforts, children grow up expecting provision without participation. So we need to connect money with effort. They need to understand that they have to do something for them to get something. Nothing comes for free, or else they'll just be entitled. Children would not assume that. Children will still have it. They'll just assume, oh, it's my parents' job to provide. Money will always be there, right? I deserve nice things even if I don't earn them. And as adults, what would they do? They will depend on others for survival. We have a lot of adults today. They can't do anything for themselves. It's always people bailing them out. It's always people bailing them out. Right? As adults, they blame the government for everything. They blame the government, they blame the employer, they blame their family for their financial situation. They blame everybody for them, apart from themselves, for their financial situations. And they lack initiatives. So you can't build character. John Wooden will say that you can't build character by giving people what they haven't earned. Right? We have university students, or some of us have children in the universities that receive monthly allowance. Yet, they end up broke before mid-month and they run to you coming for more money and you still give them. Why? Because they were never taught budgeting. They were never taught responsibility. They were never taught responsibility. And most of us still indulge them. Still indulge them. Still indulge them. Thank you very much for sharing this, Mrs. Emily. So I watched the conversation with Mr. Austin Okeria, and he said the definition of the word billionaire should be refined to mean that you have impacted a billion people, not money. Yes, being a billionaire is not about owning, it's about impact. It's about who have you touched their life. How many people have you been able to touch their lives? How many people? How many? Right? So money training includes earning, teaching them how to earn. We have children in the universities who still do not understand how to earn. All they're about is take. I need this, I need that. But they are in the university. They don't know how to earn. They don't understand responsibility. They don't understand gratitude. Just spending. So money training is about all these things. It's not just spending. Number 7 is that they miss out on the power of compound habits. They miss out on the power of compound habits. Right? So financial growth is not about one big win. It's about small, consistent habits over time. Saving, investing small, tithing, planning, giving. Children who start early learn the compounding effect. They learn how small actions grow into big results. They understand it, they see it. They've seen the process of investing. They've seen how it has grown over years. And Bas Eshtar will say that those who understand compound interest earn it. Those who don't pay it. I say again, those who understand compound interest earn it. Those who don't pay it. If you don't understand compound interest, you will pay it in debt. Because those people who are in debt, credit card debt and all that, they are paying it. They are paying the debt. They are paying the dividends of compound interest and debt. But if you understand it, you will receive it instead as an investment benefit. So when children learn to save 100 naira weekly, 10 shillings weekly, right? 10 pounds weekly, 5 safer weekly, 5 CDs weekly, or 1 cedi weekly, they understand time value. They understand patience and growth, right? Those who don't learn this early, they usually struggle to save as adults. So teaching money early builds financial reflexes that become natural in adulthood. Number 9 is that they don't learn to handle financial pressure. They don't learn to handle financial. So money brings responsibility and stress. If children never practice decision making early, right? How to use limited allowance wisely, then they won't know how to handle financial stress later. They'll panic under pressure. They will make emotional and desperate decisions. They will fall for scams or peer pressure. A university student who has never handled 10,000 wisely will mismanage their first salary. So every month they come and complain, the money has finished, this and that. You give them more. You are training them to mismanage. You are training them to mismanage. So you need to teach children to make small, safe financial decisions now so they can handle bigger ones later. Right? Number 9 is that they carry emotional trauma into adulthood. When children grow up hearing arguments about money, right? Seeing financial instability or living through constant lack, without explanation, no explanation, they will develop financial trauma. And a lot of us have it. They will certainly develop financial trauma. Right? And that might make them associate money with conflict, with shame, or with fear. So as adults, they will feel guilty spending on themselves. That's why we have a lot of adults today who the only time they spend is when they spend on other people. You avoid checking your account balance. Right? You're going to overwork to feel secure. You repeat scarcity-driven patterns. Children don't forget emotional lessons. They repeat them. So we need to be careful the lessons that we're giving to them or we're exposing them to. Right? So healing financial trauma begins by creating new ones. It begins by positive experience with money. It begins with open conversations, gratitude, it begins with learning. Right? Number 10, because we're going to close very soon, is that they fail to pass on financial wisdom. One of the dangers, the 10th danger of not teaching children about money early is that they fail to pass on financial wisdom. When we don't teach our children, we leave them unprepared. And the next generation starts from zero. Again. See, I wrote the book, Raising Heirs and Not Hustlers, because we have a pattern. We have a pattern in Africa, not just Nigeria whole. We have a pattern in Africa of a new generation starting afresh. I've seen a lot of families that if you trace them 2 generations back, they were wealthy. Today, they have nothing. They're starting from beginning. Why? Because we fail to pass financial wisdom. We think it's about passing money. Inheritance is not about passing money. It's about values, about relationships. It's about skills. Passing on the skills, it's about passing on the knowledge. We pass on money and we leave all those things out. Inheritance is not just land and money alone. Inheritance is knowledge, it's values, it's habits. A healthy parent who hides, a wealthy parent that hides financial lessons will leave poor children behind. And I talk a lot about this with my Igbo people. You have the businesses running in multi-millions of naira, but your children know absolutely nothing about it. No inkling. All they know is that there's money. And the day we've seen this repeated times, the day that person who is the wealth generator dies, everything crumbles. Because even the wife, most of the time, does not have an idea how to run the business. The contacts in the business, everything goes. The only people who benefit from a typical Igbo businessman are the apprentices, because they are the ones who are actually being impacted. But here's the mistake. They are the ones who are being fueled with the financial wisdom, the business wisdom to carry on. The biggest mistake we make is that we think that all we need to give to our children is education. So what do such people do? Their apprentices are the ones who go through the rigorous process of learning how to run the business. Their children go ahead and enjoying themselves going to school. Sometimes they send them abroad. Now, I want you to go and check. Most parents, most big business people, right, in Igbo land that are no more, how and where are their children? You realize their children are not anywhere. Even the ones that were given the best education. But then, go and look at the apprentices. Because most of them have apprentices. The Igbo boy system is very strong in the Igbo land. Go and look at the apprentices. You know the difference? Do you know the difference between the apprentices and their children? Their children were given money without financial wisdom. The apprentices gained financial wisdom, and most times with little money. We need to understand that the measure of financial success is not what you earn, but what you can teach and transfer. So what can you teach and transfer? Forget about how much you think you're earning today. What can you teach and transfer? And that is what that book, Raising Heirs and Not Hustlers, is about. It's about you understanding what you can teach and transfer. It's about you knowing how you can teach and transfer. When you don't teach children about money early, you leave them at the mercy of the culture. You leave them at the mercy of the environment. They will learn money through advertising. It's everywhere in front of us. Remember, I think it was last Thursday or last 2 Thursdays, we were talking about this gambling and how they're influencing children. And Mrs. Emily Sarah was telling us how they're putting billboards in front of primary schools now. So if you don't teach them, they will learn about money through advertising, such billboards. They will learn through peer pressure. They will learn through social media comparisons. They will learn through painful mistakes. But when you teach them early, you equip them with wisdom. Wisdom to understand that those advertisements are not for them. You equip them with identity. Identity to know who they are and not be pushed by peer pressure. You equip them with confidence. Confidence in what they have. Confidence in what they own. Confidence in understanding that they don't need to compare themselves with anybody. Confidence to make sound financial decisions and choices. The Bible says in Proverbs 22:6, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Only if we can read deep into this verse and understand it. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will never depart from it. Right? So here is my takeaway for you parents today. Start simple. Let them earn money, not through chores. I will always say, don't ever let your children earn money through chores. Chores are their responsibility, but let them earn money through creativity. Right? Teach saving. Teach them savings using envelopes. Right? The envelope method is a very simple method to use. Envelope or jars. Instead of using envelope for them, you can use jars. Right? Talk about the difference between needs and wants. Let them see you plan. Let them see you give. You need to encourage gratitude and generosity. Right? So money education is not about creating millions. It's not about creating millionaires either. It's about raising wise, disciplined, and godly stewards. Frederick Douglass would say that it is easier to build strong children than to repair broken adults. It's easier to build strong children than to repair broken adults. That's what we're going to end it today. Thank you very much for joining. Yes, as parents, we'll have a lot of work to do. Too much work to do as parents, right? A lot and lot and lot and lot of work to do. Thank you very much, everybody that joined today. Thank you so much. Next week, we would have another date. Same time, right? Same place. We'll continue our conversations on how to raise better and more financially literate children. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for joining. Apologies that we started late today, and that's the reason why we are keeping it short. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. Right. All right. So if you've not placed an order for our book bundles, you still have an opportunity to get it at the pre-order rate. Right. So the time for you to place your orders are now. If you're not yet in the Money Click program, you have an opportunity to get into the Money Click program. You can book your slot between now and the 31st of December, and you would pay at the recent rates. The rates are at the bottom of your screen, and they're scrolling. After the 31st of December, our fee would go up, right? And even though you can join us between the 1st and 18th day of January, you will not be paying the same fee as what you're seeing here today. So thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us. Please, the details to book your slot is here. Book your slot now to avoid the fee increase. See you next week, same time and same place. Bye-bye.
Did anyone teach you how to handle money while growing up? I guess not. Most adults learn the hard way through debt and financial stress. But here's the thing, your child does not have to repeat that same cycle. The Naira Academy has created the Money Click Kids program where your child can learn how to save, budget, spend wisely, and understand the basics of investing. So what are you waiting for? Enroll your child in the 2026 Money Click Kids program and give your child the head start you didn't have.